When you are having a low mood or depression, there are some words you want to hear, words that help, and some words you don't want to hear, words that hurt. Sometimes, when friends, family, or coworkers try to help, they end up hurting the situation. Not because they want to, but because they just don't quite know what to say, and may be worried about saying the wrong thing. We'd like to introduce you to Corrina, Jen, Michael, and Naomi. Let's talk with them to find out what helped and what hurt.
I tend to tell people about my depression after I've come out of it. I don't usually reach out for help in the moment. And a really hurtful experience that it's really common actually is, oh, you couldn't even tell, or I didn't even notice. And it makes me feel like it's something I should be ashamed of, like, don't worry, no one noticed. So that's definitely hurtful to me.
What you said resonated with me because when I tell someone that I'm depressed or I'm feeling the unpleasant symptoms of depression, some of the feedback I get is like, well, you could have fooled me based on all your social media posts. I mean, nobody could tell. I mean, You're doing a great job. And look, you got so many things to be grateful for.
That's really aggravating too. When they think that there's something you don't have anything to be depressed about. Like, look at your life and how great it is. I'm like, well, it's not like that. It's something that I can't help right now. This is a chemical imbalance in my brain. It's not, me being sorry for myself or something like that. The one thing that I find, another thing that I find hurtful is when I just hear cliches too. Like it's almost like you're not even processing or acknowledging what I've just told you. Right? It's just kind of pushing it away. Oh well, it's gonna get better. You just don't see it, or whatever. I'm sure you've heard your own cliches too. Yeah.
Like a short.
Someone has it worse. I think it's bad ones. Yeah.
Or feedback about the idea of medication, like if I've actually divulged that I'm taking medication, oh, are you sure you want to do that? And like, I really, that's not what I was looking for in terms of a response, but it's pretty typical.
Yeah, as someone who comes from an Italian family, even though Italians sometimes we're known to be, loud and very expressive people. For the men, it's viewed as weak to communicate and to express emotions of, vulnerability. And I was raised to think that I make my own choices. I choose my own happiness. I have free will, and that I just have to continue and pull through. And even though to a certain extent those things might be true and encouraging, and I can see the family's intent, at the same time I don't think it is helpful, because I think right off the bat you're being really invalidating by dismissing and reducing what that person is feeling. And it's discouraging for men, or for all genders, but especially this idea of masculinity, discouraging people from talking, and then it just never gets out. And I think that drives a lot of people, and what's in the past driven me to substances, finding other ways to cope with stressors in life instead of talking about it, because we were shamed to talk about it.
I have friends that I'm very fortunate in that way, that I have a lot of friends that do not suffer from depression, but kind of give me the benefit of the doubt when it comes to where I'm at mood-wise. And one of them, we actually have a plan so that if I am in a very bad place, we have a plan, which is really helps me. And I hardly ever go there anymore, and I think that's part of the reason. And I have another friend who's not touchy-feely, doesn't want to talk about emotions. So we have a system where he asks me what number I am from 1 to 10. And 1 is I need a ride to the hospital, and 10 is I'm great. So depending on the number I give him, he will not talk to me one-on-one, but he will make phone calls on my behalf and get people kind of rallying around if I'm a 1 or a 2. So that's kind of a nice, almost nonverbal way of relating to someone if you're not really comfortable.
Quite recently, I'm pretty impressed with how some of my friends have been responding, especially when I go through fall and winter periods. I do notice a significant drop, in my mood. But the text messages and like the little emojis, am I saying that right? Emojis? Yeah. They've been really helpful. Like, just even hearing, I'm really glad that we're friends. I really value you as a person, and I'm interested in what you have to say. Would you like to go for tea? And even if I don't want to, or even if the idea of going for tea is just, oh my gosh, absolutely not. Knowing that there is an option there, and knowing that there is like this hope to create a pleasurable moment and experience feels good. It's like something to hold on to when you kind of are losing hope and strength.
Yeah, it almost feels like I like that you guys like the emojis too. It's nice, and it feels like a warm hug coming out of that text message a little bit. And it's so helpful, but just keeping it simple, hey, just want to send you some hugs and kisses, you're loved, don't forget that, and then, you get back to them, whatever, and then they don't judge you. That's great. What was helpful for me too if I do come out and start talking about my mood, if one of my friends tells me, like, let's talk about, like, I want to listen to you, to reflect on what I've said, to repeat back to me, and then say their observation, and then it really feels like, they're not telling me what to do, they're not, judging me, but they've listened, they've acknowledged what I said, and then sometimes what they've said is really helpful. Like, for example, the other day, I called my friend, and he reflected kind of what I was saying. He said, Naomi, that you're really, you have so many thoughts going on in your head right now, and reminded me that, like in meditation, and you acknowledge, like, you can have these thoughts, focus on the thought, and then let it go away. And it was actually really helpful to remember that, because I don't always see that happening. It is happening to myself.
So true. I know when I'm really struggling, I know when I'm not struggling, I know it'll pass. I know I have a lot of insight, but when you are struggling, the insight's out the window, any kind of rational thought around it is gone, and you need simple reminders like, it will get better, it will pass, and that helps me. But people think they're being redundant or saying the obvious, but it's not obvious when you're in that place. It's very helpful.
But then acknowledging too, like I find that that's helpful, but then also acknowledging that you're having, like, this is a negative time, and that's okay. It's okay that you're not okay right now.
Yeah, validating your feelings, not brushing over it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Any other recent examples of some helpful things you've gone through?
I know for me, my husband actually, I've had to go to therapy to learn to ask for what I want, and he's come with me a couple of times. And I think the best system that we have is when I have a panic attack, or when I'm in a low mood, having just sobbing and having a breakdown. He just looks at me and says, what do you need in this moment? Like, the in this moment part is so critical, because it doesn't overwhelm you. It's like, what can help me right now? That's really helpful to me.
We encourage you to learn more about what helps and what hurts, and about mental health symptoms. The more knowledge you have, the better able you are to help your friend. For information about depression, how to care for yourself as you are helping your friend, and for some suggested text messages to help you reach out to your friend, please visit us at www.whathelpswhathurts.com.